Hi guys, what day is it? Monday? Monday. Great, they all blur together. Monday morning. It was Sunday night just a few minutes ago, it seems. Good morning. Feeling a little worse for wear these days. A little more or less pissed off at the city still. Got some inadequate stuff. Just thought I'd share you a little dash cam and maybe a few thoughts as we travel down the Mount Baker Highway to my place. There's going to be a city council meeting tonight. That's one thing I'd like to really acknowledge is going to happen. Come to City Hall tonight. I know there's snow out there and it's really hard to travel on these roads because they're so ill-kept. Better activity, better response on this particular snow response. They actually had to get out some plows, but the quarter-inch of snow that we had last weekend inundated the city. And so anyway, I guess we're over that. Not. Let's see how the conditions are as we go out the Mount Baker Highway together, shall we? Anyway, get to City Hall tonight, please. Get down there, let your voice be heard. You need to be down there to tell them what you think of their emergency response for the homeless population all over Bellingham. All over Bellingham. Whatcom County, they got to get their own earful too. And the health department is a big part of why you see the conditions such as they're accepted as they are, or what they're. We got to talk to the health department if we want to get some more help according to the city. But we can go into that later too. But I'm telling you, this last week I've been run ragged, seeing some of the most graphic parts of the human experience. People at near death, ill-prepared, not prepared, whatever condition put them in, whatever. Nobody was there for them. No EMTs were roving those streets with that little quarter-inch of snow that turned everything to absolute ice, and nobody could go anywhere, so nobody did, except me and JC. We ran around and we pulled people in. We've got so many volunteers now who've jumped onto this thing. It's incredible, actually. The overwhelming response shows that what your community wants here. So when you pay your taxes, you would think that this is the kind of thing you'd like to see from your city. But as it is, the city washes their hands of anything. I could not get a single driver, not a single van, to help, to get them, for the city to help us get their citizens to a shelter when there was an overflow and no room at the inn at the drop-in center, no room at the inn at the Mission. And yes, I did look inside the DIC. It was standing room only in there. There were people laying around and a lot of people standing, and there wasn't any room for anybody laying down after that. That place was packed. So yeah, there was no room. The city's plan for people who can't get into the Mission is, you know, none. Us. You. These are the conditions coming out of Sunset out to Mount Baker Highway. But I leave behind me the conditions of Bellingham. As I travel to Bellingham to save her from herself, because I don't understand why so many of the most active activists that I see in this area come to Bellingham to be active from outside of Bellingham. Now, while everybody's been cozy in bed, we've been out there freaking saving lives, asking for anybody who had an all-wheel drive car. You see any on the road today? If you have an all-wheel drive car, to come out in the evenings, say starting like 3 o'clock or so, go around cruise and take note of where they are, and let people who are trying to help them get them someplace where they can get help. It's that simple. But really, if you just, you know, as a society, when we fail at this level, people, I've seen shit that I never want to see again, and I never can unsee. In Bellingham, your town. I've always been a country boy. I came from Minnesota. I lived on Lummi Island for decades, and then I moved out into the county. These souls deserve a place to live. These souls deserve a place to get at least a modicum of shelter. You can't get in there if you're perceived to have a lifetime ban against you. I've heard so many complaints about how thin the eye of the needle is to get, how narrow the eye to get into the mission. You know, if you go in with tattoos on you that look like they have any satanic anything, or any, you know, some jewelry or a t-shirt you might be wearing, you got your Iron Maiden shirt on tonight, better watch out. You may not be as worthy of shelter as the guy right next to you. That's what I've been hearing on the street. Have I been on the street? My people, has Markis been on the street? And I thank you all so much for stepping up to help. I thank you all so much who stepped forward to say, I'll sponsor somebody, and put up their credit card for somebody they never met in our judgment, to put them in a hotel room for them. And our judgment is that nobody goes unhoused. It's got to stop. It can't be like this anymore. We can't just walk past people in the street and say, there but by the grace of God go I. Because when you fail to make your mortgage payment, when you wreck your car and have a broken leg and can't work anymore, when you paid everything to save a child who ended up dying anyway, and you've still got 2 more to take care of, and you can't afford rent, the grace of God has left you. Not with the good people that are working at the new shelter at an undisclosed location. And I'm just so thankful that they're there. Because there is no room at the inn, at the Lighthouse Mission, or the drop-in center when it gets bad. And when we posted videos of people being turned away from the mission. We have a meeting with the mayor the next day, and other city officials, chief of police, city planners, everybody. And officially the story was that was a miscommunication, and there were actually 30 beds available. 30 freaking beds were available that night. Again, I looked in the door at the drop-in center. That was standing room only. And the plumbing's been frozen all week, kids. And far too few outhouses out front for the amount of people. This unit should meet the requirements of 10 people for 1 week. Is what all the outhouses say, right? You know it, you've seen them. Guess how many outhouses? Guess how many people? So as long as we allow it to go on this way, and yes, it was asked of us. Do you want to see the health department shut it down or something? Are you freaking kidding me? No, that's not what I want to see. I want to see an action plan from the city to deal with its citizens. People who had paid their taxes, people who may indeed have voted for you, Mayor Kelly. But they missed a payment, a couple payments, then they fell. Sometimes it just falls apart in people's lives. And it's so much easier these days for that to happen. I'm terrified still for myself and so many people that I know. Most of the volunteers that we work with, we understand how fragile it all is. And when you work with people on that street level, you understand it even more. So yeah, this is Markis D from Showers Now. And I'm not giving showers today. It's a little too cold. We actually canceled a shower event that would have otherwise gone yesterday, but for obvious reasons, nobody wanted to take a shower and then walk down a ramp into a death trap with no shelter to go to. Here, have a free shower, have a great night, huh? So, and the mental health issues in this town, in this community, just no investment at all. I'm not trying to roast anybody, but I'm going to tell you that I had prominent members of homeless outreach teams come to our door and brought us a woman who needed help, a lot of help. And all we could offer, of course, was shelter. And they, of course, seemed to think that, probably seemed in agreement that was, if shelter was what we could give, then we could give that. And we're continuing to do that. This woman needs some privacy, so we found donors, of course. And she's safe in a motel through all of this. Far too fragile to be alone. Look, I can't thank the amount of the people who flowed money in to pay for motels when that was the program. But when a shelter came up, when an undisclosed church donor came up and said, we want to help run a shelter, we want to run the shelter, will you help us? Am I going to turn them down when pulling people in off the street wearing nothing? I mean, people just arms, legs bare. Whose job is that in your commonwealth, in your community you pay taxes for? I want to know. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a rant today. I'm way overtired. Been getting by on about 3 hours of sleep daily. And I need every bit of it. This is all some pretty intense shit. So if you please, locate the nonprofit organization near you that makes you feel most comfortable with who's tending the issues better, and give your donations to them. I'm not going to tell you not to pay your taxes. So there's that part, there's the money part. But man, I know there's a huge need for volunteerism too. There's still people in the streets, and on this particular emergency action of trying to get people sheltered, could you come out this afternoon, please? Go have a look. I'm going to go have a nap. That's what I'm going to do. Go have a look around, make note of those, report them to our teams. We've got lovely teams out there handing out hot water bottles, hand warmers, blankets, coats, hats, gloves. Two beautiful vans taking people to help them. So look, it's your choice how you want it to look. But I sure as fuck didn't want to have to do all this travel out here today just to come in and save Bellingham from herself, just because Bellingham is in the fetal position every time it snows a little bit. The lighthouse mission is not enough. There's so many people who won't go to the lighthouse mission. Any night that it's frosty out is a potentially deadly night. I would like to remind you, if you hadn't heard it from me before, last Saturday we gave showers at the park, and a woman came up and conversationally, as she pulled off her socks, said, I've got bad frostbite starting here, and I'm probably going to end up losing my toes when it gets colder, because we were having that discussion. And of course, I had to talk her out of her resignation for losing her toes. I guess I'm just going to lose my toes now. Nice lady, giving up hope, giving up her toes and hope. Too much effort to try to breathe life back into those toes. Not enough resources to get everything else done for survival mode out there. Yeah, it was frosty every morning. It's been a cold winter. Hasn't been that cold. No, it's been lovely. It's been cold every night, frost every night, hard frost in recent weeks. And she had frostbite on the tips of her toes. I could see it. But you know, that first night we went out, guess what? We found her in a tent with the wind, with that north wind just biting. And that little layer of snow and ice. And we grabbed her up and because of the donation from so many of our donors, because of one donation, that girl was in there for at least 2 days. And I know, and I gave her we gave her instructions on how to try and bring her toesies back to life, and I hope she followed every word of it. But she checked out after those 2 days. I believe it was 2 days, and I haven't heard of her since, guys. And that's the way it is. You lose this community. So at least there are some organizations out there who try to compile these people, to try to treat them like family, try to get contact numbers in case somebody shows up looking for them in town. Who does that work? No one. The mission? I know an organization now does that. They do that. That's one of the many organizations that I work with and do advocacy for. Now why don't you get down to City Hall right now? Right now there should be a lovely bunch of coconuts hanging out there with signs and making noise. And go down there. Me, I'm out at Nugent's Corner, and a ways to go yet. Please, please, please get active to City Hall tonight and tell them what you think of their inaction. Tell them what you think of allowing us to do their job. The camp at Winter Haven is completely self-funded there. Go and tell them, hey, thanks for letting the public pay their taxes and then turn around and fully fund and fully man that camp. I've had enough of this shit. There's people who qualify for going into Winter Haven as per the city's requirements, standing in line waiting for the city to just open up a duplicate camp. Follow HomesNOW's lead, dummy. Jesus Christ. I'm out of here, guys. You know, it's a pleasure to serve this community. I love Bellingham. I love Whatcom County. Look how freaking beautiful it is out here. We can do better than this. And when it comes to there, but by the grace of God go I, apparently we can do better than God. Just get this done. Help us. Come out tonight and find them. Let us know where they are. Thank you.